It's time for the Rick Smith Show. Now, here is the voice of the working class, Rick Smith.
And welcome, brothers, sisters, working class heroes. This is the Rick Smith Show. Thanks so much for being here today on the big program. Lots to get to, lots to talk about, and boy, what a day it was. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, signed the bill dissolving the Reedy Creek Improvement District, shot at Disney. But what I love about it, because this is what dictators do. This is what strong-armed folks do. They put a little thing in there, a little wimp-out clause where if maybe you do what we want you to do, bash those gays like we want. We may let you reestablish that in the future. Yeah, we might let you, hey, nice amusement park you got there. Shame if something were to happen to it. Just get in line and you'll be okay. You start deviating from what we believe, bad things happen. And look, that's the reality. And I love Biden's comment. Christ, they're going after Mickey Mouse? The answer, yes. Yes, Joe, they are going after Mickey Mouse. But you'll remember, this is not new. Again, I keep telling you this. What you're seeing, not new. This is what the Republican Party has been for a very long time. It's just now they're a well-oiled machine. They're a lockstep party, better funded, better organized. The chaos merchants are doing exactly what they're told to do. Because you'll remember back in 2012, at least I hope you'll remember, Mitt Romney went after Big Bird. Remember that? It fell flat. But this time the party's crazier. Mitt Romney didn't have the benefit of the Q-Kooks. You didn't have the entire party talking about pedophiles. You didn't have the whole party going, Democrats are groomers. Yet having real, actual groomers in their party. The projection machine. But here's the thing. Republican politicians don't just think their voters are stupid. They know they're stupid. And look, I can tell you this all day long. It's in the McCarthy tapes. This should be a wake-up call. Really, if there are any rational Republican voters left, and I'm seriously questioning the premise that there might be some reachable Republican voters. I'm struggling with that, but I'm hoping there still are. If there are, look at the McCarthy tapes. Because up until the moment they dropped, he was still saying, no, I didn't want Trump to resign. No, I never said any of that. No. And the audio doesn't lie. Behind closed doors, he's saying, well, we're going to, thank you, Democrats, for doing this, and we're going to get him to resign. I'm going to ask. And, Kinzinger's response was perfect. He said, Republicans, your leaders think you're dumb. Let's be done with them. And here's one Republican left going, hey, if there's a way of salvaging this party, it's purging these charlatans who are soulless. Completely soulless. Because the only people who really believe this nonsense are the dupes who are making stupid comments. And a perfect example of this happened today. We have fallen into the Orwellian rabbit hole. You may remember a couple of days ago, we had American Federation of Teachers President Randy Weingarten here on the program. And we were talking about, the attacks on LGBT students. We were talking about DeSantis. We were talking about the Republican legislatures really moving the most hateful kind of legislation, not making people's lives better, just pushing heavily destructive, heavily divisive legislation. And it's meant to be that way. It's meant to keep us pitted against each other. That's the goal. It's meant to get us to hate each other and distrust each other and point at each other angrily. That's what it's meant to do. And she made a comment that said, this kind of legislation, and this is what we were talking about, this kind of legislation is the way wars start. So today, Fox News decides, hey, we're going to run a story. We're going to run a story that Randy Weingarten says parental rights bills the way wars start. And that's not what she said at all. But Fox News knows that. But that didn't stop them because they know what they're doing. Understand, the F channel, they know what they're doing and they know why they're doing it. It isn't about informing anyone. It's about inflaming people. It's not about informing the public. It's not about news. It's about ticking people off. And within minutes after the story broke at the F channel, it was everywhere. It was the GOP war room. It was on Hannity. It was on The Blaze. It was on Newsmax, Daily Caller. It was in places that I didn't even know there were places. As we were looking it up and we're finding, and you go, my goodness. Now again, no context, just soundbite. 21 seconds that they stole from us and slapped everywhere. And it really was. You have to be in awe at the level of coordination. Now remember, these are supposed to be independent news organizations competing. Remember that. We are supposed to have a competitive news industry. But this stuff broke, and it was instantaneous. It was bang, 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 bang. It was everywhere. And again, no context, just sound bites. Just a sound bite. Her saying, the way war starts. And then with the headline, parental rights bill. Quote, the way wars start. And you go down into the rabbit hole and you read some of the comments. One person said, wars start over parental rights bill, big question marks. Can you name one war that started that way? Randy Weingarten, does anyone think the Democrats know just how absurd they sound? And here's the thing. Randy's the perfect attack target for the crazy right wing. She's openly gay. She's Jewish. She's unmarried. Doesn't have any children. Leads one of the largest teachers unions in the country. Solid advocate for progressive values. Solid advocate for children actually learning. So she's the prime target. So you can hit a bunch of those things. But to answer the question, because Randy was saying, look, all of these hateful bills, all of this kind of divisiveness, as someone who actually understands and has learned history, she kind of gets this. As someone who gets this, you can look to our past, and it's kind of distant at this point, but we all know somebody who served during World War II, and I couldn't help but think of the Pastor Niemöller quote. First they came for the socialists, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. That was the story of the rise of the Nazis. That was the story of the rise of Hitler. And look, he missed a whole bunch of groups. Understand, this was for brevity's sake. Before anyone came for him, you went after all of the others. And this is what the Republican Party is doing right now. They're going after the others. They've mostly taken out the trade unionists. The ones that they haven't conned into thinking that, hey, you're just like us. Come on over here with us. We care about you. You're one of the good ones. The ones they haven't done that to, they've tried to destroy the rest by dividing us. Well, those are undeserving workers. You're special. They did go after the gays during Hitler's time. They all had to wear pink triangles. Is that in our future? I would not put it past them. And this is the thing that's really infuriating, because history shows this kind of hatred, this kind of division, this kind of pitting people against one another does in fact lead to wars. Now, Randy wasn't saying she's going to start a war. But yet, interestingly enough, I reached out to them and I said, hey, you want to comment on this? And they said, no, but we'll send you a couple of things. They sent me an email that they got from Sean from Florida. Sean from Florida says, Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers, your quote, "The way in which wars start. There's 1 million of you weak teachers in the U.S. There are 250 million who believe in the Constitution of the United States and of America, 1789, revised in 1992. A well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Randy, I would be careful what you say. Don't ever threaten the Constitution of the United States, or you'll regret it." Is that a threat? Do you take that as a veiled threat, or is that an actual threat? And are we going to get to the point where he's just going to call up and say, you know what? I'm coming. Is that next? They also sent me a copy of a phone call they got. Listen to this Mensa scholar.
Yes, hi. Yeah, I just read where Randy Weingarten says parental rights bills are a way in which wars start. Well, I say fucking bring it on. You ready to fucking die? You ready to fucking go to war? Let's go to fucking war over it. Fucking wimp motherfuckers. I think you're fucking bluffing. Fucking pieces of shit. Let's bring it on. Come on. Bring it on. You want to start a fucking war? Let's go. Let's go, motherfuckers.
Hate-filled about how, if you want war, we're going to blank and give you war. You blank and blankety blank this. And you just go, what is wrong with these people? And look, I fell down the rabbit hole in the comment section. And I rarely do this. I rarely fall down into the rabbit hole. But today I did. I read some of the comments on the one YouTube channel. One person wrote, "We're in a war for the soul of our nation, for the future of our children. We're at war with teachers' unions. They fired the first shots, and we will accept nothing but unconditional surrender." Educating your children, that was the first shot? Making them critical thinkers, that's the first shot? Alvin writes, "She's correct in that it may take a war to defeat these evil scum that want our children and grandchildren." Another person writes, "Weingarten, you crazy, started the war on our families and children, and we're here to put an end to it." Another one said, "She needs to learn her place." Another, "An evil, vile woman." Another, "Let's go to war then. She's always making threats." Another, "Then it began. Let it begin. I'm so done with this BS." Another person said, "These people need to remember. They need to remember. When you're pushed, killing is easy as breathing." Another person said, "You teachers are lucky, and it about to run out time to be accountable." That's what's written. Evidently, they were homeschooled. Well, if a war, my money is on the side of guns. Another genius. And another person said, "Well, I'm ready for that war." This is what the F channel and those folks know their audience is. This is the outrage candy they need to feed. This is what they need to be feeding to the masses. Because this is how they control them. This isn't new. In fact, today, as this is going on, I happened to read an article from Dennis Prager over at the Daily Caller, another crazy right-wing blather machine, where his headline, "What the left has done to women's desires. The left ruins everything it touches." And he goes in and says, the left has ruined the desire of a woman to bond with a man. The left has ruined the desire of a woman to marry a man. The left has ruined the desire of a woman to have children. The left has ruined the desire of women to have sex in a committed relationship. The left, I kid you not, the left has ruined the desire to protect children's innocence. And I'm going, what world does this crazy old white guy live in? Oh, that's right, the 1950s. Because he writes it in the final bit of his screed that one inevitable result is a generation of more depressed young women and more regretful middle-aged women than ever before in American history. The left ruins everything it touches, and you can add women to that. So if women are upset and angry about lower wages, less opportunities, being sexually harassed and intimidated, and all of the things that women are finally waking up and going, enough of this nonsense, Prager and his ilk want to take him back to the 50s and well before that even, to where they had no rights at all, so they could just be seen and not heard and dealt with and own nothing and be property. And that somehow will be better for them. I'm struggling in the world that these people live. But understand, the billionaire money, the Betsy DeVosses, who are funding a lot of this stuff, the Mitch McConnells who are behind a lot of this stuff, they know what they're going for. And they know the useful idiots who write the crazy stuff will do whatever they want. Now, I don't think Mitch McConnell's crazy. I don't think the leaders who know what the game is, I don't think they're crazy. But I think they know how to use crazy. And it's dangerous. And Randy was probably right. This is how wars start. Going to take a quick break right back after this. Stick around. You're listening to The Rick Smith Show. We're working people. Come to talk.